All right, man, peace. So, brothers, this is going to be the latest installment into the series, Know Who You're Living With. And in the case of this cat right here, Mr. LaRon Parker, the issue that he had is that, number one, he's way too young to live with another person. As I always tell you, brothers, there should be a period of time where, number one, you're able to provide for yourself, pay your own way, your living expenses, meaning your rent, your food, your utilities, your amenities, so on and so forth. And then when you're young, especially, and you're first getting out of your mother's place, your dad's place, your parents' place, whatever your form of living arrangement was, you have to gain the understanding of what it's like to be on your own and to be the king of your castle, because that's the time period in which you're going to be able to establish what your expectations and what your living standards are going to be. And therefore, what are the conduct expectations that you're going to have for a person who lives with you? And that's why it's so important for the man and the woman to live together when they're raising the children, because the children are going to use the father and the mother as a matrix to establish, okay, this is how I share a home with another person. Or if you happen to be a man with more than one wife, this is how I share my home with people, plural. But anyway, just to get back to the point, as we can see here, this cat not only was too young to be living with another person, particularly his girlfriend or whatever title he had on their relationship, but he also did not take the time to get to know her, to understand her issues, her true qualities. Look, I don't care how bad your financial situation is. It's never the answer to try to escalate the stage of the relationship that you're in with your significant other to convince her to move in with you so that she can help you with the finances, with the bills. That's only going to lead to what we're seeing right here, that being a court case. And hopefully, the court case that you'll be involved in will only be about money, and it won't be about some type of criminal activity that occurred on a particular night, i.e. domestic violence. So anyway, they're going to talk about it. I'm going to chime in.
Plaintiff LaRon Parker says 2 months into dating the defendant, they moved in together, and LaRon realized that the defendant was immature and controlling.
No shit. The young lady that you moved in with was 18 years old. And this cat is 20 years old. If he was 40 and she was 38 and they had moved in with each other after 2 months, he would have found the same thing, because there's very little difference between a female who's 18 and a female who's 38, other than their dick count. Once again, brothers, take your time before, number one, you live with a woman. Number two, you have a child with a woman. Number three, you sign a contractual obligation known as marriage with a woman. Take your time. And if that woman is not willing to take her time with you, that means that she's running a scam. And she's not quite sure how long the timetable is on the act that she's putting forth for you. It takes a lot of time and effort to maintain a facade. That's why cats act shocked once they either impregnate a female or they marry her and she ends up being a different person. It's because you did not do your due diligence. And that baby mama shit is such a major impediment in the so-called black community. Once again, we're spending too much time focusing on the white man and the white woman. We cannot compete with the other races until and unless we scrutinize our own issues with a fine-tooth comb first.
LaRon is suing his ex-girlfriend for the balance due on a loan. Defendant Megan Wise says after she moved in with LaRon, he became very secretive.
Isn't it interesting? Her name is Megan Wise. And as we're going to see over the course of this case, she certainly was misnamed because there's nothing wise about her. And yes, she's a wiggle white girl. There are a lot of them scattered all across America, all across the world. Not just wiggle white girls, but, wannabe black chicks from all societies, countries, etc. Because pop culture, for the most part, has become global culture for the youth. And pop culture is basically what is inspired by a lot of the innovations of so-called black people here in America. But at the end of the day, the reason why I bring all this up is so that brothers understand, just because you decide to not deal with the so-called black woman anymore does not mean that you're not going to have the same relationship issues. All of these women, period, as long as they embrace the quote-unquote Western culture mindset, are Babylonian. You understand that? Meaning what? They worship the queen of heaven, or the great whore of Babylon, Ishtar. They take after her mindset, that being meddlesome and overly curious, not just about what's going on in the world, but other people's sex. Most of these females, especially when they're younger, They want to sample all types of dicks. And that's their business because it's legal here in this society. But brothers have to be on point when it comes to what these women are about, these Babylonian women. Does that mean that every female's like that? No. But you have to come into a situation understanding and grasping that the culture that these females are raised in promotes them being agents of chaos. So it's not about, oh, well, you know, she's so different. I've only known her for 3 months, but I could tell she's different. You don't know shit. You don't know a fucking thing.
Day before Valentine's Day, he received nude pictures from another woman on his phone. Megan denies owing LaRon for anything.
Start with you.
Me and Megan, we met 2017 in May when I was enrolled in barber school. She was a cosmetologist. We started off as friends in the beginning, first couple.
Bullshit. You was flirting with her. She was feeling you because she listens to a lot of Migos and NBA Youngboy. So she's been fantasizing about sleeping with black dudes for a long time. I'm sure that you are not the first black dude that she's been with. You damn sure won't be the last. So she has an infatuation with hip-hop, and that hip-hop has been major, just like rock and roll was back in the 50s. It's been major in creating a cult of personality around the black masculine archetype. That's what makes a lot of females from other races curious about the so-called black man. Is the music and the innovations, things of that sort. But once again, he moved way too fast, and it tells me that he was struggling with his bills, and he said, you know what, let me see if I could pimp this little broad here.
We started to become a little bit more than friends. I had her move into my apartment. At the time, that was around like July.
So in other words, in June, y'all start fucking. By July, you say, you know what, I got this chick strung out. Let me move her in with me. She can help me with the bills.
It was kind of okay. It started to get a little rocky.
How long after did it start to get rocky?
To be honest, I could say about 4 months maybe, sir.
Okay.
Within 4 months, you guys' relationship started to get quote-unquote rocky. You was friends the first 2 months. So by the 3rd month, y'all was fucking. By the 4th month, shit was rocky. What that really means is that she started to get bored. And she started to show who she really was. Brothers, the natural calibration of the woman leans towards negativity. Especially in this environment today, they are not taught to capitulate to the man. They're taught to compete with the man. It takes a very long time to evaluate how toxic your woman is. Because it's not a matter of whether or not she's toxic. It's how toxic is she, and can you tolerate it? Does the good outweigh the bad? And if so, how much does the good outweigh the bad?
What's he mean by rocky?
Yeah, y'all smoking?
No. We weren't smoking. You know, it was just up and down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got you.
See, I got him thinking about crack all the time.
Anytime somebody say something about rocks or stones on this show, they try to make a crack joke.
He ain't never met a crackhead. So it got a little rocky. What were the problems?
So the relationship that we had got into was kind of fast because she moved in after 2 months.
Right, but whose fault is that, brother? No disrespect, but you come off like somebody who thinks that he's a player, and you thought that you was going to use this broad for her money to help you get through some rough times. Let's be for real. Who the fuck moves a broad into your place after 2 months? I mean, unless you're just a super simp like that, which is possible. He's a very young cat, so maybe he was never taught anything. But I suspect that he thought he found a good sucker.
Really know her as much as I thought I did. So more as we came on to the relationship, I felt like she was a little bit more immature than what I was. And
well, the woman does not start to mature until 45 years old, bro. You need to subscribe to my YouTube channel.
You know, she didn't let me go out with friends. She had
How old were you all?
I was 20 at the time.
Okay, 20, and how old was she?
She was 18.
And you all living together?
She looked kind of wide for 18 years old. I mean, damn. I'm guessing by the time this court case occurs, she's 19. But whew, she need to join a gym and get in control of that shit. But then again, she's a white girl that loves hip-hop in Indiana. The brothers out there, they love big, fat white chicks that that like hip-hop. So maybe that's how she draws them in.
Yes.
All right. Maybe you're too young for that emotional entanglement.
Oh, shit. Look at this. Judge Mathis was using entanglement way before Jada Pinkett Smith was. Go ahead, Judge Mathis. Bitch got entangled.
An advocate of deep love in teenage years, because typically they're not emotionally developed or prepared, and it can damage their lives if they can't control it emotionally.
Let me say this very quickly. In this society, it makes absolutely no sense for a young man 18, 19, 20 years old to allow a quote-unquote relationship to envelop his mind to the level where he believes it's going to last forever. I would never tell someone that the relationship that you have with that female is not going to last. That's negative energy. You're not the one in the relationship, and you never know. It's always better to lean towards positivity and construction, but there's also realism. And in the realistic world, you understand and grasp that the woman is whimsical and capricious by nature, so anything can happen. And that would be the advice that I would give to brothers out there who are wondering about how long their relationships might last. Keep it positive, be vigilant, maintain your circumspection. Please grasp that anything can change in the blink of an eye with the woman. So do not count your chickens before they're hatched. Don't marvel if one day you turn around and she seems to have totally contorted her personality and her treatment towards you. Just roll with the punches, see how things go, try to be the bigger and better person, but also understand and grasp the writing on the wall and move forward. Life is just about movement. You have to keep moving. You can never allow yourself to stay stagnant, and you can never allow another person to make you stagnant or immobile, because it will fuck up your mind, it will fuck up your soul, and it will fuck up your life. Period. So that's why the order is always that you put the Most High first, and that you're goal oriented, and that you know what you're going to do next. The woman has to be viewed as something extra in this society. In a real society, women are raised to be wives. So by the age of 15, 16, 17 years old, they already have the skills and the mindset to maintain a home. That's why in the ancient world, women got espoused at 14, 15, 16, because they spent their entire childhood learning how to maintain a home. In this society, no. As I always tell cats, you should not even be thinking about having a baby until you're 35 to 40 years old. I know that might sound late, but it's just my view of it, because around that time period is when you truly start to understand life. You've made your mistakes, whether you've been properly instructed or not, and now you actually have something to inform your son about. You actually hopefully are a mature enough man to show your daughter what type of man she should be searching for. That's what being a parent is all about. You could be that 20-year-old dude at the baby shower with the baseball hat on and the white tee with a stupid look on your face as your quote-unquote baby mama and her mother and her auntie and grandmother and homegirls take over your life systematically, and you're just there as a prop. Or you can get your shit together, get informed or educated, whatever you prefer, are financially responsible, understand life, and then you impregnate a woman when you're ready to actually lead your home. It's up to you. You might be one of those rare specimens that at 22 you understand life and you're holding shit down and you're in control. That's great. That's your business. But if you ask me, that's when a man should start considering bringing forth seed. No younger than 35. 35 and upward.
Wait till
in this society, in Babylon.
25 and go on and all that. Just like they say, men like to play the field before they get married. You need to do a lot.
And so do women. Women like to play the field before they get married, and many of them love to play the field after they get married.
In the field, you get married and you haven't been with anyone else, you might get kind of antsy and think about how it might be. So that's my advice. Let me hear from you, ma'am.
Okay, so when we met in school, I noticed he was like pretty flirtatious with the girls around school.
He wasn't finished.
Right.
So you said to yourself, he's really flirtatious with all the girls around school. Not only am I going to give him this coochie, but I'm going to move in with him. That's what you're telling me. Well, many of these females, brothers, remember, the number one thing that they're addicted to is attention. So when she saw that he was quote-unquote flirtatious with the girls around school, what she omitted is that the girls were flirtatious back, including her. and that they found him attractive, they found him charismatic, and they started to compete for his attention. The reason why she accepted his offer is because it made her feel like she won the competition.
I don't know what y'all thought.
Right. But I mean, despite that, we ended up hanging out like outside of school and
ended up hanging out. What you really mean to say is that despite that, you ended up getting a dick.
A pretty good connection. Like, we had a lot of things in common and just connected very well.
I bet you guys connected in a lot of different ways. What you both had in common is that y'all were both attracted to one another. Y'all love hip hop. Y'all probably love drinking a fifth of Hennessy, and one thing led to another, and y'all were performing the Kama Sutra in his apartment.
Like you said, I did move in with him 2 months after we were together. And then while we were, like, when I first moved in, like, everything I feel like was okay. But then he started becoming really secretive, would take secret phone calls outside of the room and hide his phone, just acting very suspicious. So obviously I was assuming that he was cheating. Come February, the day before Valentine's Day, actually.
Brothers, once again, the highest rate of relationship breakups occur around the holidays, especially Valentine's Day, because the woman in general she's encompassed by a sense of entitlement, and that sense of entitlement raises exponentially around what this society considers to be the holidays, that being from Thanksgiving all the way through Christmas, New Year's, and really ending around Valentine's Day, which is pretty much the pinnacle of the woman's sense of entitlement, i.e., quote unquote, what she feels like she deserves. And there are so many dudes who end up getting broken up with by some pompous woman on Valentine's Day because either he was not willing to celebrate it or he was not willing to embrace it with the level of solemnity that the woman embraces these fake pagan holidays. Because they have all types of demons that infest their body around the holidays. Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and a Valentine's Day. Oh man. Vast majority of these cats are going to get broken up with or might break up with their woman around those days.
Received nude photos from a woman with a Valentine's Day message, and that was pretty much it for me. So
Where'd
after
you see
that,
him?
On his phone.
Oh, okay, you broke into his phone.
Well, his phone was open, and he was in the bathroom. He got a message, and
You looked at it, all right.
Right.
Just wondering.
Yeah.
And most times when people dig and dig, they're going to find something they don't like.
Spoken like someone who has a multitude of side chicks. I have no doubt in my mind that Judge Mathis has a whole bunch of side chicks. When you hear people always talk about, oh, well, you know, you keep digging, you're going to find something. What you really mean is that you have a lot to be found.
I didn't have to
Maybe
dig too much,
even
though.
misconstrue it, but nonetheless, get your feelings hurt.
So, Judge Mathis, you think that she truly misconstrued all of the photos of those young women with their legs spread wide open, one leg facing Bangkok, Thailand, and the other leg facing Honolulu, Hawaii? You really believe that, Judge Mathis? I think that those photos most likely painted a very clear picture of what was going on.
Man, my wife and I, we've been married 37 years. I promise you I'm not looking at her phone or not.
And I promise you that over the course of those 37 years, you've gotten a lot of side pussy, and she's probably gotten a lot of side dick. That's just what it's about in this society. I don't care what anybody says. Ain't nowhere in the world that you're going to tell me that you being an entertainer in Hollywood, that you've never seen another coochie other than your wife's for the last 37 years. I'm not buying it, sir. And I'm also not buying that she's never seen another rod in the last 37 years. You hang out with Magic Johnson and Rodney Pete and Holly Robinson Pete and all them other freaks out there in Hollywood. Y'all get it done. Samuel L. Jackson and his wife, y'all hang out with all of them. And that's not even talking about all the females that I'm sure send you messages and panties and phone numbers and invitations. Not buying what you're selling, sir.
Else behind her. I don't want to see something that I misconstrue. She might write the wrong name out or use a nickname for her father and I get the wrong impression, you know. Hey, Boopy. I love you. Who is Poopy? I read it in your front. Let me just hold on. I'll let you know who Poopy is. Dad, tell Greg what your nickname is. Booty. So that's my point. Who knows? All right. So you all played that game. That's how you broke up?
Yes.
All right. Haven't been back together since?
No.
No.
Yeah, she letting you know she want that rod back.
That says yes to me.
No.
No? Okay. That means she wants to then.
Absolutely.
All right. She hesitated for a reason. No. All right. And tell me about the loan. How does she owe you for it? Tell me.
Okay.
Describe the loans.
To start off the loan, sir, she had a small repairment, so her transmitter had went out in November, and she had not had all the money. It was about $3,000, so I told her I would help her out with some of it, especially because we're in a relationship and I wasn't rushing on the payback, but it became...
Brothers, be very careful with the money that you lend women that you're in relationships with. I'm going to say it again. Be very careful with the money that you quote-unquote lend women during your relationships. As I state, the woman is like, she's like the weather report. It can go from sunny outside to dark and cloudy very quickly. So you make sure that if it's money that you need back, and you agree to lend your woman that money, if you don't feel like drawing up a contract, you make sure that you send whatever specifics you want to send in the form of a text message, and you lock that text message. You'd be like, okay, babe, I know that you need $700, so I'm going to lend you the $700, okay? As soon as she says, okay, babe, you lock that shit and you're good to go. You don't have to draw up no contract to make sure that she signs at the bottom and now she feels like she's not being trusted and she turns that into something else. No, just send in a text message. And that's something that can be admissible as evidence in a court of law should your relationship go south and then all of a sudden she catch amnesia.
problem more the months came on. So she gave me a payment in December of about $100, and then another one in January. Then around February, she claimed that I cheated on her. I did not. And since then, she's blocked me, which I have evidence of. She's never texted me about any of the money.
You asked about the money?
Of course, sir.
All right, and what has she said?
Nothing.
She didn't say, I don't owe you?
She didn't say anything.
Ma'am? Has he asked you about the money? And if so, have you told him that you don't owe him?
Well, Your Honor, I didn't receive any text messages, but it is probably because I blocked him. Because he cheated on me, so I don't...
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with the money that he lent you. Once again, brothers, these women, they'll try to use any excuse to not follow through on what they owe. That's why so many of them have horrific credit. You got bros out here making $300,000, $400,000 a year who have bad credit because of their spending habits and their borrowing habits.
Any more contact with him.
The money, ma'am. Let's get to that.
Yes, so I did see that more as a gift because throughout the relationship, I mean, we gave each other money back and forth. November, like, that's when my...
Yeah, he was giving you money shots back and forth, but what's that got to do with anything? If the man lent you money, give him back his damn money.
Is too, so I figured it was more of like a gift.
Did he ever ask you for the money back?
Not until after we broke up.
So...
Well, that's normally when someone will ask you for money back that you owe them, especially if they were being relatively relaxed or leisurely about it while you guys were together.
November of 18, you all broke up when? Wasn't it Valentine's or
February.
19 or something? All right. He had never asked for the money back or arranged a payment plan or given you a deadline to repay? You had never heard anything like that
Never.
before you broke up?
Correct.
Do you have any evidence that you asked for the money prior to breaking up?
Yes, sir.
Let me see it. We can get rid of this real quick. And hope it's not one that was blocked. Hey, everything's smooth. I ain't tripping, but I'm gonna need that money. I gave you $1,500. You only gave me $125. Run the rest. You ain't never have to block me. This didn't have to come to this. Yeah, he's not making things up in his head that he would put on communication that's just between the two of you. Now, did you give him $125 toward anything?
For me, it wasn't towards anything. I was giving him $125 because he was asking for it, but he didn't say anything about the loan. He wasn't asking for money for the loan.
Lies.
Oh, okay. Which loan?
The one that he's talking about.
Gotcha, bitch.
Okay. You refer to it as a loan too.
No.
You referred to it as a loan. Why didn't you respond to this? You didn't.
I didn't respond.
Kept him blocked then too.
Yes.
Okay, so you gave him the 125.
How you gonna block somebody that you owe money to? That's so whack. Don't get it twisted. I get blocking negative people or people that you ain't fucking with anymore, but you know damn well you owe that man his money. In reality, you thought that he probably used the repayment of the loan as an inroad to keep communicating with you and then tried to win you back, even though you were embittered that you felt like he cheated. So that's probably why you blocked him, but still, get that man his fucking money.
Does what?
Well, it was just kind of to give to him. It wasn't for a gift.
You don't come across as being honest today.
Or intelligent.
Judgment for the plaintiff. I don't believe a word she said. Have a good day.
Right now, honestly, I hope everything can be positive.
You hope everything can be positive. You hope you can get that old coochie back. That's what you really mean.
Anything else to happen, but I still want to let you know that I didn't cheat on you.
Yes, in other words, you want the pussy back. Just be for real, bro.
You stop all the petty allegations, you know.
I mean, we'll probably still end up being
Fucking.
cordial, but he did cheat on me, so for that reason, we can't.
Oh, please. Y'all will be back fucking in no time. I promise you. These two probably back together already. It's just going to be much more casual. They're going to take their time, but they very clearly are both so interested in one another. But brothers, just to get back to the point, know who you're living with, know why you're living with them, and take the time to live by yourself for a certain period of time, especially you younger brothers out there. You need to take the time to understand how to be the king over your own castle, what you're going to tolerate and what you're not. A lot of you cats move out of your mother's house into an apartment with another woman, and naturally you're going to look to that woman to be a mother figure. And please grasp the double-minded nature of the woman. She wants to be your mother, but she doesn't want to be your mother. Meaning, she does not want to have the burden of loyalty to you that your actual mother has, but she wants to have the power over you that your mother has. That's why you'll hear so many females say, oh, well, you know, I saw how well he treated his mother, so I figured he'd treat me that well. Why would you mistake how a man treats his mother with how he would treat you? Like, I get it on the negative side. If a man is not close with his mother, then it would probably be more likely that he would be negative towards you for, you know, for things that are not that serious, because he might see his mother in you as a figure who's trying to influence him in a bad way for whatever reason. Maybe the history that he has with his mother, who knows? But when it comes to the positive aspect, the wife and the mother have two totally different jobs. They're viewed in two totally different ways, at least by men with a healthy mind. But these two will be back together. It's just that they won't be living together like they were in the past. And that's important because this cat needs time to himself. So peace.